We have to make sure there's time for Sarah to go.
We shut this session. So,
Okay.
press.
So, hello everyone, my name is Jordan Pettit, and today I will be presenting my organizational change pitch. I'm going to be talking about education reform today. So, to begin, the U.S. school systems are somewhat of a failure in reform, and I'm going to show this by comparing them to European and Asian school systems, which are doing much, much better than we are. Then I'm going to tell you some of the reasons for reform, some solutions on how we should reform, and then just a conclusion on why all of this is absolutely necessary. Okay, so according to the Education Department of the United States government, we are currently spending $67.1 billion per year on education, not including college scholarships. So we should definitely be leading the pack. That's a lot of money to be spending. We are falling far below global standards. If you look at this report from Business Insider, it's a little hard to read. I couldn't get it much bigger than this, but I put USA in red next to where we are, and if you look, we are either last or close to last in every single category. But near the top, well, at the top in every category is China, and near the top are other Asian school systems, European schools, and there are some schools up here that we consider to be doing less well than we are as a country, but are still outscoring us, which is an issue that we need to work on. So, here are some of the reasons why some of these other school systems are doing so much better than we are. They are testing their students at 8th grade to determine whether their students have an aptitude for high school. And then they removed their state testing because they found it to be extremely arbitrary, and have moved to having only one national curriculum, so the entire country is learning the same things at the same time instead of a hodgepodge of random information. Then they are going to send either students who are unqualified, unmotivated, don't have an aptitude for a high school and a college career, or just don't frankly have an interest in it, to a type of vocational school where they can learn other life skills that maybe you don't need a college degree for. Perhaps they want to be a mechanic or a beautician, or something that doesn't really require things like English rhetoric and trigonometry. And then they'll learn things like how to balance a checkbook and how do I buy a house, which are going to make them a lot more productive and give them something to do other than saying, here, look at my high school diploma, hire me. But you don't have any of those skills. And we looked at a lot of these schools' mission statements and the percentage of the students going into the workforce. They have a lot more percentage of higher ability just because they have real skills. A lot of their school mission statements have websites that I cannot pronounce, but I have them all listed if you would like to see them. And then we have some additional reasons why they are doing so much better than we are. They're removing students who don't want to learn. Not every student cares about chemistry or writing an English paper. And we're making them sit through all of this to get a high school diploma that they're not going to use very much. And so it's making our school systems unproductive. The teachers don't have enough time to focus on all of these students, and they're being held back by students who don't want to be there and who would frankly rather be learning other skills that can benefit them better. Also, the national tests of other countries are reflecting the students who are really trying on their tests and really care about an education. And here in America, we test all of our high school students, whether they want to go to college or care or not. So we have a lot of students that just sort of go through like a Christmas tree. That's the layman's term for it, and you just sort of arbitrarily fill in the dots. So our test scores look really low because we have a lot of people filling them in arbitrarily. We're removing this group of people. Now, teachers can also spend more time with students who are very concerned about their education and really want to go to college, which is going to help our students grow more academically, and then they're going to test better because they know more information, obviously. A lot of these European and Asian schools also decided that rhetoric and trigonometry, while useful and great things to teach if you're going to college or going to university, pre-professional type type of thing, you should learn them. But if you're just wanting a more vocational or training type of career, want to get married and just do that, you really don't need them, and it's become sort of arbitrary to force everyone to learn it when not everyone really needs to learn it or really cares about learning it. So there are some criticisms to moving towards this type of system. One might be that students are bad test takers. Not all students know what they want to do in 8th grade, so it's a little hard to say, pick right now. Do you want to do a vocation or do you want to go to college? That's become an issue. And then some of these countries are so rigid that if you fail one thing or are bad in one subject, you've essentially failed at life, and you have to work in a coal mine or something. But if we just model our educational systems similar to this, but change a couple things, we can prevent this criticism from happening. This is how one might go about this. We're going to allow students to retake tests. So maybe you had a bad day, personal tragedy, you weren't ready, whatever reason, you can retake these tests or take them later when you've decided, you know, I really do want to go to college now, I want to be able to do this. So you're not just defined by one moment in your life. We're going to help students achieve their goals a little more effectively. So if you really are motivated and really want to go to college and can prove to whatever board is established to create this educational reform, hey, I'm not great at these tests, these aptitude tests, but I still want to go. You're not going to just be told, you're kind of dumb, you can't go. And we're still going to be teaching students life skills and give them an education, something to do. We're not just throwing a bunch of kids out and telling them, oh, you're dumb, you don't get to have a real education. We're not discriminating or making it elitist, which is really important critique that's been given. And the last thing, which is probably the most important thing that we are going to do differently, is change the way our national testing is. It needs to not be done the way it is right now. And here is the best way that they've discovered that we should change our tests to. We're going to remove arbitrary state testing because it's arbitrary and each state's different and it doesn't really prove a whole lot. And the first thing we're going to do is something we're sort of already doing. We're going to base our theories of intelligence on Spearman's S factor and G factor, which is based from the Intro to Psychology by Pearson. And your G factor, general knowledge, math, science, reading, history, etc. And splinter cells, really good at trigonometry, not good at algebra, but you're still doing okay on your tests. Then S factors are going to be a little more cognitive, types of thinking, problem solvings, different ways of thinking, not just your basic, here are the 4 things you had to know, less rote memorization of topics. Then, something we really should be incorporating today but are currently not, is Gardner's 9 theories of intelligence, which it goes along with Spearman's, which is like, oh, you're smart, you can do math, you can write a paper. But maybe you're really intelligent at reading music, but you don't do well in a normal educational setting. Maybe you have a lot of intelligence on body awareness and you're an athlete or a dancer or something. And our tests right now aren't really judging any type of other intelligence. They're just saying, oh, you're good at math? Cool, you're smart, you get to go to Harvard. But we're not really judging any other types of intelligence. So basically saying to students, oh, you don't test well? Sorry, you're not very smart. And we really need to move away from this and give students who are intelligent in certain areas more attention and not just put students into boxes and decide. So, in conclusion, by removal of state testing and following a more European and Asian model of school systems and changing the way we hold our state testing today, we can vastly improve our test scores in relation to other countries and also create a more productive and educated society in America today.